Okay. Hey there, YouTube. Slasher Chicks and Slasher Dudes. My name's Alicia, and this is Slasher Chick TV. And in about 1 second, you'll see the ticker below that says this is day 24 of 90 days of live streaming. And I've typically been going live in the evenings, but that's just because that's what's fit into my schedule. And today, I'm out and it is I'm recording a glow up vlog, but it is essentially a grooming day. And my braiding salon is a first come first serve walk in only. They do not take appointments. So I really should have been here about 2 hours ago at 6 a.m., but I got here around 8 a.m., which means I'm gonna have to wait. And since my live stream challenge means that I go live every day for at least a half an hour, I am almost certain I will be waiting for at least a half an hour. So since I'm sitting here waiting safely and comfortably in my car, because it's already so full that there's no waiting room in the braiding spot, I figured why not go live? And worst case scenario, I'm going to sit here and talk to myself for a half an hour, but I will have achieved my goal for the day. Now, one of the things I really loved to do when I was regularly uploading content to YouTube was on Saturdays. I would go to Nick Nimmons Live. He does one with his brother D, and it's basically about all things YouTube and how to get better at the YouTube. And I don't know if they're on this early yet. Let's see. Um, but I say all that to say I love a good Saturday morning live, and yeah, it doesn't look like they're live today. I don't know when they're going live, but they do have some good tips and tricks. They give channel reviews during that, all kinds of things that um, for a content creator make it worthwhile to check that out. But they're not live right now, and this won't be about YouTube tips. This will be about progress over perfection. I also am in the midst of a no buy challenge. I think I had talked about that before. Well, I know I talked about that before, but I hadn't really given an update since maybe day 7. And yesterday was day 12, and I did really well. But so far today, I'm going to have to go with a fail, and it's not going to count because I already bought Starbucks on the way here. Um, because I was trying to get here, early, as I mentioned. You have to be at the braiding salon. Really, I should have been here at 6:30 if I wanted to have the best seat. But since I didn't get here till 8 and I'm going to have to wait, it is what it is. Yes, Coach Sherry. I am getting my hair braided today, and I really should have been here at 6:30 if I wanted to get in and out. But since I showed up at 8, I'm going to have to wait. So since I have to wait for, I'm sure, what will be at least a half an hour, I'm like, well, I might as well go live and check my thing off today. And that way I won't feel bad later this afternoon or this evening if I can't do it. I also have a late meeting today. I have a meeting at 8 p.m. for uh I'm on a planning committee for a gala, and I have to meet with the chairs about the awards booklet. So that meeting's at 8 p.m. So I would love to also not have the live on my back as well to check off tonight. So I figured, yeah, why not? I'm sitting here, I might as well. So that is the beauty of not having a scheduled time. But as I was sitting here talking to myself, I was saying I also used to. There's a one of the channels I used to watch every Saturday was Nick Nimmin, and he has a live stream on Saturday mornings about YouTube. Um, about channel growth, editing tips, tools you could use, things like that. So I'm also used to just being on YouTube on Saturday mornings. Um, so it felt apropos to just go ahead and use this time. I did really appreciate your live from yesterday, Coach Cherry, because a lot of those questions got me thinking. Some of them are things that, as I've gotten older, I've accepted areas of. I'm a firm believer of just outsourcing my weaknesses and not continuing to try to improve them. And some of them are things that it's like I want certain lifestyle changes, so I have to make the changes. But the one that really still got me was ex- my. I was excited to notice that I'd made progress from being a person who like I don't have a budget at all. I don't know, to being way more financially savvy and fiscally responsible in my adult years. So yeah, lots of value in it. You can find a lot of value if you actually do the questions, and really think about it. And it's great with those being in a live if that becomes like your Friday format, because you can also just like pause it and reflect and then come back on and be like, okay, next topic. And it gives you kind of something to think about if you were looking, for the reflecting on what just passed, about and next week how will I be better in this area, but not making it like this. It's like, oh, I can make a small improvement in this area over the course of the next week, not feeling like everything's so overwhelming when you're trying to make change. Because I think that's the other thing that makes people feel stuck, is feeling like they to make a dramatic change overnight as opposed to just incrementally making adjustments until it becomes, a habit. Or like you said, Coach Sherry, that it really takes like 60 days to make a habit, um, beyond the 21 that some people will say, or even a month. I definitely think it's longer to build up that kind of, yeah, to build the muscle memory and to get far enough away from what used to be so that you don't remember that life. Like I don't even know that person. That's not, because that's not what we do anymore. Um so yeah, baby steps count, so the small changes really do matter. Ooh, yay, I just figured out. See, look how excited I was about that small change, because I just figured out how do I do this on mobile if I want to highlight the comment, and there we go. That's how you do it. Okay, you said 6 months, not 60 days. 6 months for it to be a habit. Yeah, I could see that though. Changes, right? You can you can do like you can do motivation for a little bit, but real change requires discipline. And I really, what I've been working on over the last couple of years is like I've always had a negative kind of, or not a negative connotation for the word discipline, because it's, but I didn't see myself as someone that I would use the word disciplined. Like I'm like, oh, that's, I don't know, that's Marines. That's but discipline is really a radical act of self-love. Oh, I love that one. I'm gonna have to put that down. Um, Thanks, Coach Sherry. Same here. I'm gonna see if I can I make that a banner. That's a good one. But yeah, discipline is a radical act of self love by saying like this is what's important to me. So these are my non-negotiables, and putting that first. And that's what I'm learning, and that's what this challenge has really been uh reaffirming too, is that if I want to really move forward with my YouTube journey, I'm going to have to look at this with discipline, never with motivation, because motivation ain't going to get me there. I know that for a fact. Um, so there is that. Ooh. And I really do enjoy learning something new and trying new things. So, testing these things on the StreamYard and learning how to work it has been a nice byproduct of it. So what could you say? Because maybe that's why so many people have challenges with negotiating on the business side of things because they don't have strong non-negotiables for themselves. I really do think that has a lot to do with it, um, because you still have to, like, regardless of what you're negotiating the substance of the thing, you have to know what's important to you at the core, right? The non-negotiable, like what you truly value, to know what you can and what you can accept and what you can walk away from and feel comfortable walking away from it because it's not what you want. So I think so. I think when you don't know what your non-negotiables are, then yeah, you're willing to negotiate anything. What's that? They have a cliche about that. Like what? I guess it's kind of along the lines of if you don't stand for anything, you'll fall for everything. It's in that family. That's one video I wanted to do about like a bunch of truly a lot of cliches are really there's some truth in that are helpful for life. Um, like one that I think I've heard you say this one too, Coach Sherry. And now I have my team at work writing writing it down. And I was talking about something. I'm like, well, how you do anything is how you do everything. So this is pretty much on brand for that person. Um, and I think that was the first time they had heard that. And if you don't, yeah, have strong non-negotiables in other parts of your life, it's definitely when you are trying to negotiate things that are um, the stakes are higher when it actually has emotions or money tied to it. You're really going to be stressed. So one of my I am a coffee drinker, and that's where I failed today on my no buy because I did still stop at the Starbucks on the way here at the 7:30, and I didn't have any more free points, so I paid for it. So that's what I'm doing on my no buy month, Coach Jerry. I made it 12 straight days until this morning, and this morning I failed. So I'm just going to count today as a wash. Because today, the getting my hair braided didn't count. Because that was one of the things that was budgeted in. But specifically on the you can't buy it was the Starbucks. But yes, I did make sure to pack my snacks. I have water. I've got books to read. I've got my laptop. I got all of the other things. That's why I had to still get stop and get the coffee. It's like I'm not gonna make it. I was gonna try, but I'm like I'm not gonna make it. Cause yeah, I'm gonna be here for a while. But one thing I do love about this braid salon, like I might end up. I mean, now I've been waiting only 20 minutes, so 20 minutes isn't really that bad. But maybe I end up waiting up to an hour. But even if I wait an hour, they will get me in and out within like 4. Whereas there are a lot of other salons I've gone to where I'm getting the exact same braids, but they take 6 to 8 hours. And so, one, I love this place because of not only their efficiency, but also the quality. They get you in and out, but I have my preferred stylist here. But if I'm negotiating where I care more about the time than I do about the do I get to go to my preferred stylist, I'll go to someone else. But I've never had bad service. Now they charge actually this braiding salon that I go to now that I said is more efficient and has more consistent quality. They actually charge less than the other ones I used to go to, which I end up tipping them more because I feel so grateful that I'm getting such better quality for in such a faster time. So I don't know. The young lady, yeah, that started this salon here, she has a well-oiled machine over here, and that is why I do not balk at the fact that they don't take appointments. Because if I really wanted to be the first or second person in the chair, I could have got here at 6:30. They will be open. um, but I woke up at 6:30 and made it here by 8. Um, and it's very familial in there. Yeah, but it is, yeah, it's an African owned and operated salon. But the young lady that owns this one is like, she's really she's really young. Um so I think she brought I think that's part of why she has like a more unique approach than maybe some of the other salons in the um same area, and that they just have more of a like, well, this is how it's always been, so this is fine, versus, well, how can we do this better now? And she makes, good use of like every single bit of space in the salon to really service as many customers as possible. But for some reason, even in spite of that, I still feel like I'm getting like very individualized service when I'm in the chair. You know what I mean? Even though they have maxed out the space in there to make sure like there's a chair every few feet. Um, so it's so interesting. That's one thing I always talk about though too. Like, you can have a really good product and have sucky service. You can have really good service and have a sucky product. You just can't have both. Like Comcast is a great example of when people get frustrated because, oh, I'm getting sucky service and a sucky product. Occasionally, they've gotten much better. Um, they do. Wait, do they have to be licensed in Philadelphia? I mean, I know you have to be licensed to have the salon. No, yeah, actually, braiders do have to be licensed in Philadelphia. It's not the same requirement as the cosmetology license, right? Like, they don't have to have as many hours, but they do have. And I don't think they necessarily have to go to the school, but they do have to get a license. And I think the thing that they do have to pass is more about the like safety and public health type stuff, because they do have the licenses like posted in the salons. Or maybe I'm thinking about my nail salon. I might be thinking about my nail salon actually. No, because my braiders always have them. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Now I tried that on one of my solo trips. I can do like jumbo braids that last about a week, and that is what I will do on my in between Coach Sherry. But it is one of the things that I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna have to pay for this pain. I am not, no matter how much I try, I'm not getting good at this. And I also, the most important thing is my time. Um, that's really the trade off, right? If I'm letting someone else braid me, I can be doing something else. I can actually be making money in the chair versus if I spend to do it myself. So that's one reason why I also have not prioritized. Like, I might end up saving money in the chair, uh, but if I could make the money, I'll do that instead. But it definitely came through in the clutch when I needed it for, like, yeah, the vacation in between. Yeah, I totally understand that. They're only doing it for themselves to, yeah, save time and money. Like, this will save me money, and I don't have time to get to the salon. I'm gonna do this myself. Um, but that's actually something I've never been good at. I've never been good at that, or like with people in this in their um wig installs. Oddly enough, though, I still like to watch them. You know what? Maybe that's why I like to watch them, because I admire their skill and their ability to do it, and the fact that I can't uh, makes it so intriguing. That might be it. So, oh, oh, so I have been, I haven't talked about this on my channel, but I'm down this rabbit hole about Where's Kate Middleton? And I just got an alert. I thought there was finally an answer. Um, there was not. So yeah, now the book I brought to read today is The Secret Lives of Church Ladies, and it's like a anthology of a bunch of different stories, and I'm looking forward to that. It's been on my list for a while. I'll tell you what it says. Okay. The Secret Lives of Church Ladies explores the raw and tender places where Black women and girls dare to follow their desires and pursue a momentary reprieve from being good. The 9 stories in this collection feature 4 generations of characters grappling with who they want to be in the world, caught as they are between the church's double standards and their own needs. There's 14-year-old Jael who has a crush on the preacher's wife. What? At 42, Lyra realizes that her discomfort with her own body stands between her and a new love. As Y2K looms, Carlotta's same time next year arrangement with her childhood best friend is tenuous. A serial mistress lays down the ground rules for her married lovers. In the dark shadows of a hospice parking lot, grieving strangers find comfort in each other. With their secret longings, new love, and forbidden affairs, these church ladies are as seductive as they want to be, as vulnerable as they need to be, as unfaithful and unrepentant as they care to be, and as free as they deserve to be. Okay, I was not, I don't, wasn't expecting this, but this is by Disha Phil Yaw, and yeah, this isn't what I thought was going to happen. No, they're not biographies. Well, they might be. But Deja Filial's writing on race, parenting, gender, and culture has appeared in the New York Times, Washington Post, McSweeney's, The Rumpus, Brevity, Tuesday Night, and elsewhere. Originally from Jacksonville, Florida, she currently lives in Pittsburgh with her daughter. Now, this book was a National Book Award finalist. And what year was this printed? All right, I never heard this quote before, but in the prologue, it has a quote. Let it be known, I did not fall from grace. I leapt to freedom. An- Ansel Elkins, Autobiography of Eve. I've never heard that of that poem. Um, wait, what year was this printed? Yeah, I don't know what year this book came out. Oh, 2020 is the year the book came out. Um, and yeah, I think what made me interested in definitely trying it was the first chapter is named Eula, and I used to have a neighbor named Eula when I was a kid, and I have never heard that name since. So I was already intrigued. So I'll let you know how the Secret Lives of Church Ladies turns out. I actually, so my, this kind of came up, or maybe it was something I was thinking about from In Your Life, Coach Cherry, but ultimately, I came back to the YouTubes because I am mostly interested in the business of YouTube and how YouTube can be leveraged for marketing and the streams of revenue that can be created just simply from content creation. And so the first goal, though, is to just get back on the wagon. Yeah, I know. Is it Eula's? Just that's what I'm saying. It's such an old name, and it just really makes me feel warm and fuzzy though when I hear it because of my fond memories of Eula. So I hope this story doesn't jack up the name Eula because that synopsis was not how I thought these Secret Lives of Church Ladies was going to go. So hope they don't mess up Eula. I'm gonna have to get the character a new name if they do. But yeah, I came back to the YouTubes because I want to figure that out. And that's one of the things about it that really does interest me. Now, and I don't think it's going anywhere in terms of I don't think it's too late to get into the content creation game as a revenue generator. I think it was in Forbes that they consider it a like $1 trillion industry. Um, Hold on, let me see. Where was that article? It's the article I send back um, to my mom all the time as my uh, reminder to stay motivated. But hold on. This is what, yeah, this is what they're saying about the creator economy here. Yes, okay. This is from as of February of this year. Goldman Sachs. That's who did um the study, or evaluation. But according to Goldman Sachs, the influencer creator economy is currently worth $250 billion, and it's expected to nearly double to 480 billion by 2027. So I don't think it. Okay, am I back now? My phone died, but now I'm on my backup phone. See, Coach Sherry, I think I was prepared. So give me a something if you can hear me now. Okay, great. So, as what I was saying was, I don't think it's too late because of that potential in the creator economy. And secondly, I think for people who are over 35 specifically, it's even more opportunity because we are the people that advertisers want, because we are the people that they believe have discretionary income. The kids don't. So I think it's even more opportunity for people in their late 30s and 40s and 50s and up to be creating, and have an opportunity to make a whole, yeah, second career. Or well, maybe they don't want to call it a career because that might feel more like work. But you know, but goes back to what I said. It is still a career, but it's a second career, and that careers aren't meant to be linear. There are very few roles that people start early on as a young person, and that's what they do throughout their life. And so, yes, if you're going to be like a medical doctor, then yes, your career might be quite linear. Um, but even law can have many twists and turns as to how you use a law degree, and where you choose to um, use those skills. So um, yes, so it frustrates me when people in business, being a product or service, get frustrated with their marketing efforts and they refuse to get on YouTube. They'll watch YouTube, but they won't put any content on YouTube. You get that? That's what I don't understand either. And that, like, I think about that too with software. Is that decision makers watch YouTube too. You just have to make sure you're putting the places in the right place, and that you're attracting the right audience. But I think people have a misunderstanding about, I guess, YouTube itself, because it is, it's just the second biggest search engine that we have, with the first being another subsidiary in its parent company. So why wouldn't you want to be coming up in all the search results that you could possibly come up in? And video is also a much better medium to develop a quote unquote relationship where a potential customer can know, like, and trust you. I am more apt to do that when I felt like, um, this person has given me value over time for free. uh, how much more value would I get if I paid for their service? You're going to have that curiosity. So, wow, that's interesting, Coach Sherry, because as someone who's been writing plays and directing plays for so long, I would think they would be open to the idea that, oh, I might be able to reach new audiences by using this medium that can touch people right there in their homes, right all around the world. And maybe someone might see my plays that didn't, that aren't local and didn't know about them beforehand. I mean, another good thing with putting those clips too is then it also gets like actors more interested in those as options for things they might use for auditions and monologues, and just continues to spread the awareness of her work. Um, but I agree with that about putting it on, Facebook for family and friends, but they're not necessarily your best supporters or customers, because your family and friends aren't necessarily your target market. Like, they might love you and want to support you and want you to do well, but they may not be the people that you are actually looking to sell to, right? Like, if I write children's books, I can't be only with my family and friends, because then that limits the number of children I'm going to have access to. So hopefully, yeah, that you can keep doing that. That will kind of nudge her. Maybe, the other thing that it might be, because I'm wondering if it's, I'm thinking about, why would someone be hesitant about that? And it could be around like some fear that they might have about their ability to do it themselves. Maybe they think it's harder than it looks. The other thing maybe they think is people that are their target customers, like, aren't necessarily looking at the content. So maybe if they know that other people are on YouTube that are the same age. I don't know. I would think if you see the comments though too, you'll see that people are engaging. I think, yeah, you keep sharing it with her, and one day, hopefully, um, she'll get it. Because even if it's not to promote current work, but just to share past work, I definitely think it's a good medium. I certainly look at businesses. Even when I'm choosing local businesses, but local businesses that choose to advertise on YouTube, especially the ones where you can tell it's like the the business owner just like pulled out their iPhone and did the video themselves. I love seeing those kind of commercials, and I definitely acknowledge, like, write down or do something to save that business if it's something I don't need right away, but I think I might need later. Um, because I see that they get it, that they're trying to reach their customers where they are for this time, and I want to. That just makes me interested in that business and knowing I'm gonna get a progressive quality product, because that's what they are thinking about. Or, well, I'm really feeling a sense of familiarity, right? I'm having some what's the it is. I'm not exactly which bias it is, but it is a bias that's what's being affirmed. You like YouTube, I like YouTube too. Your business must be good. That's really what's working there. Um, but yeah, if her goal is to be the next Tyler Perry and to get into cinema, you gotta start in the social media platforms, or continue to build an audience, because you're going to need that audience to be willing to go out to the cinema. But maybe a good thing to talk about, Coach Sherry, for this particular friend would also be like examples like Issa Rae. Issa Rae got started on YouTube with her web series Awkward Black Girl. And by the time Insecure came out, she had a fan base that was waiting for her to have that kind of content, waiting for her to have that kind of budget, that we were like, all right, well, we're going to watch it and see what this is about. Like, people were basically disappointed that it wasn't automatically Awkward Black Girl. Like, we just wanted that to get picked up. Quinta Brunson is another example of, she had multiple web shows, um, that she had a following by the time Abbott Elementary was coming out, because people were consuming her content online and had already bought into her artistry. So those are, good examples of people who, because they did started with their content and created community and fans before they had the big budgets, it really made it a lot easier when they had the big budgets to ensure they had the audiences to continue to sell it, right. That they could easily show, well, I have the audience that's going to come see my work, so you might as well give me other chances, because my people are going to come through. um So those are two. Those aren't great examples, or they are. Let me think of another one. Um, I also feel like Justin Bieber's a good internet example. I mean, that's how he got discovered, by just putting his music out. But I also, let me think of who else. Well, he doesn't create content, but I think like Marcus Brownlee's are also a good example of just like how putting out content can really create a whole, like, who's Marcus? What's his, I forgot his actual handle, but okay, good. He just does tech reviews, okay? And this man has like few million subscribers, to the point where now his tech reviews, companies are blaming him for, like, oh, you're the reason why my product failed, my business is going bankrupt because of your bad review, like. And this he's just a regular old consumer reviewing a tech product. That's it. But he's been able to make a whole business out of that. And that's just, amazing to me about YouTube. Yeah, I feel like there are way more examples I could come up with, Coach Cherry, of other people too that, started with their creative content on some sort of social media and developed a following, and then was able to take that further. Oh, oh, okay. I mean, this might not be a good example if they're not up her alley, but Cardi B is a great example. I like Cardi B's music. I like Cardi B's music though because I discovered Cardi B before she was mainstream, and this was mixtape era Cardi B, where she was putting out her own albums that she produced and distributed herself. I So by the time Cardi B had a large record deal, that was my like fourth Cardi B album. But was I gonna run to the store and make sure I bought it? Absolutely, because now you got the budget behind you. I'm gonna support. Um, so yeah, it's an example of like building a following um before you necessarily have the budget behind it. But I love seeing the people that that, even on a smaller platform, I can tell that they are doing it like as if, they already had the thousands of people watching it. Like, they are literally giving you the best that they got to offer with the budget that they have available, and leaving it all on the floor. I love seeing people do that and knowing that they are kind of living. You kind of know that they're also like fully living out there. Like it might not be the end dream that they envision, but they are living their dream to the best, yeah, that they can at this moment. So, yeah, you're right though, but YouTube really isn't a smaller platform because it has worldwide access. And you are literally right in people's homes and hands. And it's way more accessible because, like you said, they're not going to the movies every day around the world, but they are on YouTube. And everyone can't afford to go to the movies all the time right now, so it especially is another way to attract a different subset of your audience, right? Maybe because I think with content, you can also use the same kind of model that like software use, where they have a freemium model where, like, hey, here's the stuff that's for free. And if you want more or exclusivity, here's the stuff that you can pay for. Which, yeah, YouTube allows you to do that with like memberships, um, or well, even if you don't use the YouTube platform for memberships, the ability to have like private or unlisted videos allows you to put your stuff behind a paywall in other places and just embed the YouTube videos, but you still can have a paywall. So I totally agree with that, Coach Harry. I find it odd when people talk about the cut that YouTube takes from their check as well, because the platform is free and they are doing all of the advertising for you. Like, there's so much that the company is doing for you that, like, you are essentially paying an administrative fee. Like, I don't understand the complaint there. And not only are you paying just the administrative fee, but then your income after that is not capped. Like, it is completely uncapped income, because besides the money that you're going to make from AdSense is capped, but money that you could make now from adding other things like merch, like digital products, like events, like uh I don't know, you get so good at it, you become a YouTube manager. Who knows? It is not it like it's uncapped. Um So, why you would complain about someone giving you access to a tool that can be used for uncapped income is mind-boggling to me. Yes, yeah, you're getting free marketing, like free free exposure everywhere. So it's almost free in the nominal fee I feel that like you pay. Like, I mean, I don't, hopefully YouTube ain't listening to this, but I feel like if YouTube asked for 50-50 split, it's reasonable. But, that's just, that's just me. Perhaps, I don't know. I guess also too, it's not like there are other options, but the other options don't have the same, um, yeah, nobody heard us say this, Coach Shay. The other options don't have the same reach as YouTube, so it's like you could go to other alternatives if you feel like that's too high, but you're not going to reach the same level of audience. So that's and from what I understand about like the memberships, if you wanted to have like a super premium membership where your membership was $199 a month for whatever it was that you gave, like, that's your prerogative. I don't think YouTube even caps what the like membership options are. Um and that's exactly it, right? The other options are not owned by Google, so they don't have the capability of putting your content high up in the Google searches the same way it would with using YouTube. So it just doesn't even make sense to me why other options would be your primary platform. I could see still using that as like a secondary place for whatever reason, but as the primary options to put your content, like I can't see why that would make sense. Now, I do see how um, Facebook is a good place for people depending on who their target market is, and that the people that they are trying to target may be more on Facebook. I feel like you also have to always be thinking about your future customers, right? That you're trying to target as well. So, right, exactly. So, like you said, if your children prefer this, if I want to market to that group, I need to hang out there a little bit more, right? So, also, so to that point, if my target customers and my target market are like 40 to 50, I do also need to be thinking about what is my strategy though for those that are in the 30 to 40 camp, because I eventually want to pull them up into my audience by the time they're 40. So I have to have some sort of play in the areas where they are as well. So I can see how someone might choose, say, Facebook as their primary because that's the place where my current audience lives, but as I'm trying to pull in the future as well, I gotta be thinking about that secondary place and be in the places, where they prefer. Now I'm curious, and maybe this hasn't come up yet with your kids yet, or, but this whole TikTok ban thing. Um, I'm so curious as to what that is going to look like, because the whole thing is very interesting to me in that I don't know how the US could try to force a business to sell to a US entity, um, when we still import so many goods from China. Like, if China were to say, well, you know what, fine, if that's how you want to treat our businesses, we're no longer going to support you the way we do. Like, wouldn't we be in a bad spot? Like, if now we got some trade issues because of this? At any rate, though, I don't like how can I don't know what this means, but I'm very intrigued by seeing what is going to happen with this quote unquote ban. Because allegedly, and I'm saying allegedly because this is also my understanding, um, they have 9 months to sell. I totally agree. Exactly. What parameters they, and I'm sure that they have, plenty of businesses that have the same values as those owners. I think that's another great example too of like, just because that business is like, one, we can't automatically assume that our data is being mined. Well, I think you should automatically assume that your data is being mined and sold. But I feel like people should have automatically assumed that from the inception of the internet. Like, that is how I have always felt. Is once everyone had access to the internet, it has always been clear to me that the money is in the data. I want people's data, like, because that's how I can sell to them better. So of course the money's always been in the data, and I guess that I you know how it is when you know the lens that you look at things and you forget that everybody doesn't look through your same lens. But I'm always like, follow the money. What does the money say? And so the money has always said, oh, the real value, the gold here is in my data, is in the data of my behavior, the data of my demographics. Like, that's where the money is. Um, See, exactly, Coach Sherry. Like, from the moment it was out there, it was being mined and captured. Like, I don't understand why people didn't think that, but that was because of that. That was why I always, from the very inception of the internet, always saw like don't put anything out there you don't want your grandma to see, because this is going to be in perpetuity. Not that anybody told me immediately it was in perpetuity, but it just, I don't know. Like, nobody told me how it was getting erased either. So I feel like I got to assume it's always going to be there. Um, but, I don't know. I think that's maybe that's also a generational thing of like my level of skepticism about everything. Um, so maybe that's why I automatically had those assumptions. That, oh, you know what? I think it also, so I, one of the things I also have to do this weekend is finish editing my most recent booktube video. And in one of the booktube tags, they ask a question about like classics that you read. And I had a social studies teacher in high school that had us read like um what did he have us read? 1984, Animal Farm, and what was the other one he had us read? Whatever it was like we read all three back to back. Where I always was like, oh, Big Brother is real, like. So maybe that's why because since I've always thought that, and because of the conversations I was having. Yes, booktube, Coach Sherry, is the side of YouTube where people talk about books. It's just YouTube, but no, I've never read The World is Flat, but maybe I should. But it's just YouTube where they talk about books. It's just like Black Twitter. It's like, oh, it's just Black people on Twitter. But I do have a book channel. It's called Biblio Slash. Um, and oh, if you search the hashtag booktube, a lot of them will come up. Um, and there'll be like, videos with the booktube name in it. Um, and apparently, these are the new things I learned, because I didn't know that once I got into the booktube, I didn't know there was also Bookstagram. That's what the bookish people on Instagram call themselves. Um, or Storygram, and on TikTok it's called Book Talk. But if you search those, you'll find all the things: BookTube, BookTok, and Bookstagram. Uh, oh my gosh, I love that name of the book club. We be reading. That's so funny. So, and also why I love it is because, so if I ever had a restaurant or a bar, my name for them is called Let's Eat and Let's Drink. So, so we be reading is definitely right up my alley. I would make sure they had a private room at either Let's Eat or Let's Drink to have we be reading book club meetings. um, but yeah, I started that because that was my experimental place where I was going to take all the things I learned from over here and all the years that I have been consuming YouTube content and use it to grow my booktube channel. Um, See, that's why I started a booktube, because I am that person. I would have got kicked out of the book club. I'm assuming you got kicked out of the book club for the same reasons I would, which is this. I'm the type of person that I don't have time to read this book on this timeline that y'all set for this book club. But I'm gonna still show up to the meeting trying to have this conversation about the themes, knowing I didn't finish the book. Like I didn't finish the book. So I don't know. Did you not have time to read the books, Coach Sherry, and that's why they kicked you out, because you wasn't about it? Because that's I guess also, what was the last book that they read? Now I'm intrigued. Um. So but BookTube is how I got the recommendation of The Secret Lives of Church Ladies. Oh, okay. See, I knew it. Okay, so that's, yes, what led me to BookTube. It was like, I was like, what had happened was my therapist gave me uh the suggestion of reading books for fun. And I'm like, I haven't read fictional books for fun in like over a decade. Sir, I don't got time for that. And I made time for it, and I remembered how much I enjoyed it. And I was like, man, I really do want to be in a book club, but that would happen to me all the time. And so I was like, but I do want people to talk to about books. I just need to be able to do it in my own time, like when I finish the book and when I'm ready to talk about it. And so that's what led me to, well, you love YouTube and you want to be able to talk to people about books, start a booktube channel. And so that's what I did. Yes, me too. Oh my gosh, Coach Sherry, that is me too. Like, not only did I not finish the book, but well, I mean, the themes aren't new, so I can talk about this book. Yes. Oh my gosh, this is so true. But yes, they want to be able to talk about the deep thinking and even those life experiences as it relates to the book. So you have to read it. And I'm like, okay, fine, I get it. I'll just do that with other people then when I can finally finish this book. Um, but I totally but there's something to be said about learning about just being in the room with those 20 somethings as they are discussing these things and learning these things. That's one of my favorite things about my nail salon. At my One of the techs at my nail salon is the owner's daughter. So she's in like her junior year of college. She only works at the nail salon like when she comes home for breaks. And she always has her friends coming in and she does their nails and stuff. And here and there, little 20 something year old conversations, they give me absolute life. Because they're just, their perspective is just so different. And I enjoy it so much. Just listening and trying my best not to say a thing. Just listening and trying my best to be like, oh, okay, really? Oh, but I just like, yeah, I just enjoy, yeah, just try to drop a couple here and there. But I enjoy the things that I learn. I learn from them too. Um, the last time I was in there, and they were planning a birthday party, and they were planning a fairy themed garden party for one of their friends who loves fairies. But it's not a surprise because she hates surprises. And I thought, well, how special of y'all that not only are you doing this for her, but you're not making sure not to do the things she don't like. Like, it was just very, very thoughtful. Um, no, Coach Sherry, you can't come, Mom. I'm sorry. That, because you know what? You being there is like tantamount to feeling watched. Like, even though, even though you ain't gonna say nothing, it's still like, man, I can't be my full self. Your mama here. Now, because as I mentioned, my mom had me so young, and she was only 16 when she had me. And I tell people we grew up together, um, because we did. It's often very interesting in that our everything has overlapped so much more than it would normally, I think, because then when I started to like work professionally, then we would have places in which like my mom's been my client before, which has been interesting in that like when I go to places where our actual relationship in that space is more professional than it is my mom, and like I'm calling her Andrea there. Like it's all been very interesting. Um, because I can't, I can't show up to this place and you're my client calling you mom. So, um, so I say that to say like my mom would come, but that's just because she's only 15 years older than me, so it's not quite the same. But maybe they'll let you come to like the now see. Also, what we'll do is we'll have like if we do that, like let's say we have Friendsgiving, there might be the first part where it's like parents invited. That's during like the first half of the evening. Um, oh, I love that. See, that's also it's a numbers game, Coach Sherry. You having multiple. One of them was bound to be a mini me. So I think that's really cool. But yeah, the meme I had sent my mom this morning was like, it was this little video. And it was like, when you're on the phone gossiping with your mom, because now she actually is one of your little friends as an adult. But now, yeah, she is actually one of my little friends until like if she does, until she has to not be one of my little friends. Like, I mean, that doesn't really ever come up anymore. Or she has to remind me she's not one of my little friends. Maybe so in my 20s, but I don't think so now. Um, that's really awesome, though. But I am certain I can imagine that all of your young adults are very um, well adjusted and wonderful young human beings. Because just everything I've learned about you so far and your parents, I'm sure they are. Because you have exposed good values and left them the space to become who they were gonna be, not just who you wanted them to be. And you also sound very proud of them. Uh, and I love that for y'all. It's really awesome. Now, I didn't really think, so now I really was sure I was only going to have to wait a half hour. I didn't really think I would be out here waiting an hour. And sometimes this is also why, because it is walk-in only, I've said, like, I guess I'll wear a fro for another week because I can't. My patience is gone. Um, but I really don't want to wear my fro for another week because they'll call me. So that's one thing. That's what I'm saying. They have definitely figured out a well machine. So you go in and you sign in and put, what service you get in. If you have a preference for said stylist. When I went in and I saw that I was number 31 for today, and I told you they opened at 6:30, and I got here at 8. So at one hour and a half after, they had already had 31 people in here. Um, I knew, yeah, I was gonna have to wait, but since I saw I was number 31, I was like, okay, I'm not asking for a specific stylist. I'm trying to get in and out then. But when I looked around, it seemed like, there were enough people already being serviced that maybe there was only a few people still in front of me at the point of at being number 31. And there were other braiders coming in as I was leaving, like maybe 5 or 6 more braiders came in. So I knew, okay, that means things are about to speed up a little bit too. But well, I just said it was like 5 or 6 more braiders coming in as I came in, right? They have for this at this right, they have two buildings next to each other. So let's say each of those can probably fit one, two, three, maybe 15 in each of those two buildings. And then the second building has two two or three floors. I never made it to the third floor. I've always been in early enough. So yeah, I think they can service like that many at a time once they have all the braiders there. So I'm like, I don't think it'll be that much longer. But it is still a little bit longer than I thought it would be. Now that it's been a whole hour, I thought I would be at least like, yeah, a half an hour. So I don't know. I don't know. Now I might actually do some work, but I do think, yeah, they might have to be ready for me soon. Coach Sherry, what are you up to the rest of today? And what time will you be going live so I can make sure not to miss it? Um, because this is all, yeah, all my appointments today are all like grooming appointments. I have, besides this braiding, I'm hoping to, yeah, that's because that's what I'm about to do. Yeah. Besides this braiding, I'm going to go have nail, a mani pedi appointment. And then, yeah, I have my meeting this evening. So in between that, I might still try to get my eyebrows waxed, so that will also be off the list. And then tomorrow I have a brunch thing with my girlfriends that was already prepaid, so I don't pay for anything. And yeah, that's what I got going on this weekend. Now, if you don't know yet what time you're going live, no worries. I'm just gonna keep an eye out. Yes, I actually prefer threading. Um, I think personally, I think the threading is faster. I think it's less painful, and I think it lasts longer. But it is not as convenient to my home, and that is the only challenge. Oh, okay. I'll just, if I don't see when it happens, I'll just catch you there on the replay because I get it. That is why we are having this flexibility so that we can do what we got to do and then get on when we're ready and do what we got to do here too. So I totally understand. But I am about to go in and one, check and see where I am in the lineup, and two, see if I can use the restroom. But hopefully I'm like minutes off the chair. I'm going to claim that for myself, that I will be in the chair in about 10 minutes. So thank you so much for hanging out with me this morning and let me check off day 24 of 90. I very much enjoyed our conversation, and I will see you later on the YouTubes. Have a great day.